Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm doing a video every day for a year. This is video 219 of 365. Well, how are you guys doing today? Are you doing well? I hope you're doing fabulous. I hope my mic is working more fabulous than it has been the last 2 days. I'm so sorry that it's been so low. Please tell me if it is better, if you would, or not better. Please let me know. Mr. Peter, please let me know. Thank you so much for helping. I had no idea, and I think I've been knocking one of the settings off whenever I put it into my shirt. I think that's what's happening the last couple days. I don't know. It's just messing with me. So it's my energy. Something's been shifting. So please let me know. I think it's good though. On my end, I didn't have an issue the other day. So I don't know what's going on, but the light is back on, and I think we're good. So let me know if you would. So. And I tried to get my kitty cat in the shot, but we couldn't make that happen. She started bathing and I was like, that's not appropriate. So I shifted gears. So anyway, hope you're doing well. We have 20 something hours until the brand new year. You guys excited about it, or are you not excited about it? And does it matter to you, or does it not matter to you? I love a new year. I really do. I love doing all my end of year things and beginning of year things, getting like tax stuff, business stuff ready, just like starting fresh, checking my credit report, all this stuff, like just kind of getting ready for the year. And I will say that it's definitely got me thinking more this year. And I'm pretty certain that these meditations I've been doing, I know I mentioned Joe Dispenza's meditations like the past couple videos, and man, I feel like a different person today. It's very strange. And I've been doing his meditations for years, but I've been doing longer ones, and I set an intention with these. I think that's what's different. I've been setting the intention of, I'm just going to allow things to happen. I'm not going to have any preconceived notions about anything. I'm just going to I'm going to surrender. That was my intention. I'm surrendering to the field. That's what I'm doing. Surrendering to the field. I was like, I cannot figure out anything outside of me. I've got to just surrender. And that's what I did. And you wouldn't believe the things that have been happening. It's so weird. Some of them I can't even put into words. It's just like this feeling. But one thing I will say is that I feel like there's this life force inside of me that's trying to get out and be lived. And so, I would kind of say I'm kind of a workaholic. Like, I've always kind of been that way. I've been behind a laptop for 25 years. Like, I do fun things, but I work a lot. But my work's fun. But I think that I'm craving something else. So I encourage you to think about, what are you craving that you might be waiting to do? What are you possibly craving that you don't even know you're craving, because you're just in survival all the time? And I think that we kind of live in survival mode a lot because we've got so many distractions around us. So that's why one of the things I suggested to you guys was to just not mess with your phone for an hour. I was talking with a client about, remember when we didn't have cell phones? Think about right now, we don't have cell phones, and we might have a pager, let's say. I did have a pager when I was 15. I remember I got a pager. And the bill was $8 a month. It was pretty funny. That was my first bill I ever paid. And so, you have a pager maybe, or maybe you don't even have a pager. And we've got email. Maybe we've got AOL. That's fine. But we have a landline, and we got a cordless phone. That's fine. With the caller ID, with the answering machine. So let's say we've got all those things. They're all at home. We don't have access to any of that. This computer in our pocket, we don't have access to that anymore. What would that feel like? And it was just this feeling of that would feel great. And our cell phones are so wonderful for so many reasons. But on the flip side, they really make us be on. That's kind of how I feel. Now, I limit my time on here. Especially now that I'm being more conscious of it and being more intentional. It's not that I wasn't conscious of it before. It was just, if it's on and it's always on, it's always on silent or vibrate or whatever, but it's still around you. You still know it's with you. It's kind of like you're married to it. It goes everywhere with you. Especially if you work from home or, it's just always there. It's just always around. And then if you're scrolling, I don't know, it causes you to think thoughts that you might not have thought had you not have been scrolling. That's my point, I guess. So I want you to think about ways in which you could start thinking different thoughts. And this was an example earlier that I came up with for myself. I was like, well, I work out at home and I love going to the gym too, but I have everything I need here. It's convenient. I love being at home. I can do it whenever I want to and all of this, but something in me has been saying, well, maybe you should physically go, even though it really doesn't make sense. It's not as convenient. It's not as efficient, because I love my life to be efficient. Everything has a system. Everything just works perfectly like a well-oiled machine all the time. But I thought, even though this doesn't make sense, maybe I'm supposed to go do something like this. And if I go and do something like this, I'm going to have different thoughts, different feelings. I'm going to be making different decisions. And I'm going to have new experiences that are going to create new circumstances in my life. So I started to think like that. And it really opened me up. And so it's not that I didn't realize some of this before. It's just that I kind of was like, I'm not really going to worry about that. I'm good with the way things are, which is staying the old self. And so I was like, well, okay, let's become more of the new self. So let's do some new things. And so I got this thing in the mail the other day about, hey, come to this gym, don't have to pay this fee. You can get this special. I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this. So, and they're having a little health expo and all these things. So I thought, well, maybe that's one thing I need to do because I'm so passionate about fitness. And you never know, maybe I could teach a class there. Maybe I could teach a yoga class or a manifestation class. That's what I really want to do, is teach emotions and beliefs and get really structured with the way I do things instead of, this is a little bit of, I don't really plan these right now. Like I've said, I will get better at planning, but for now, just kind of finding the voice and talking just like a normal person. So yeah, I encourage you guys to really think about for the new year, I don't know, what do you want to leave behind that you don't want to take with you? That's another good question. What do you want to leave behind? What is not welcome in 2026? That's what you need to think about. What is not welcome? Well, I don't want any of these negative feelings in my body anymore. Remember what emotions do you want to inhabit your body and live there? And, pretend like you have these two guards outside. They've got, whatever what is it that they carry? Not swords, but, those things. Stake, what do they call those? I don't know. Somebody will let me know. Spears. I think they're called spears. Whatever you want them to be holding. They're standing there and you're talking to them about, do I want this feeling to inhabit my body, or are you going to keep this out? Whatever you need to do to visualize angels around you, whatever it is, just get really picky about your thoughts. Get really picky. The pickier you are, the more you're living with intention about how you want to feel, how you want to think, how you want to behave, who you want to become, and also gratitude and thankfulness and appreciation. If you can just get there with the things that you already have, that is the most simple thing we can do. Really look around. I'm thankful for everything, floss, toothpaste, toothbrush, water, just the basics. Like I said, toilet paper before. What would you do if you didn't have toilet paper? I mean, my God, we need toilet paper. We got to have that. We've got to have food. We've got to have water. We've got to have, exercise. We've got, movement in some form. We've got to have good thoughts. And you can be thankful for your good thoughts too. Be thankful for you. Appreciate you. Whatever you appreciate appreciates. So when you start appreciating you, golly, it's almost like you're watering a seed and you're going to blossom and bloom. So that's something to think about too. What can I water within myself? What do I not want to inhabit this body anymore? And what feelings do I want to inhabit my body? And then what can I do to water myself every day? That's a really good way to look at it. And what am I doing that's doing the opposite that I might need to let go of? But first, why is that even there? Why is that even in existence? And thank it for being there, because it's showing you something, and maybe something to examine, or just something to say, oh, that doesn't fit where I'm going. That's not logical to even be here anymore. I don't need it. So it's just another way to look at things, a different perspective. But yeah, just practice some thankfulness as usual. Thank everything around you. Thank yourself. Thank your triggers. Thank everything around you is happening for your benefit. Just say, this is all happening for my benefit. Everything. Thank you, trigger, for showing me that I still harbor anger in my body. And whatever it is, just thank it and bless it, because it's there for a purpose. And you're here for a purpose too. Maybe it's time to figure out your purpose, which I do believe our main purpose is to feel joy. I really, truly do. And I used to say to gather data for God. That's what I used to say, because I was like, we're just gathering data for God. That's all. We're just having fun here. We don't need to make a big deal out of this, because I was making a big deal out of life, and I still do sometimes. We all do. We have to just honor being human, honor our emotions that we feel, honor our thoughts, because that's who we're being right now. But remember, you are a different self underneath everything. We've been buried by survival mode and buried by things that aren't even us. They're just programs from other people. So just really get in touch with yourself. Start making lists of positive aspects about yourself, like Esther Hicks says to do. Make a positive aspect list about you. Who are you? What do you love about you? What's great about you? Start with you, and then go outside of yourself and make lists about people that you love. And then the hardest one is make lists about people that you're having issues with and send them love. And if you practice this for like a month or less, you're going to see some big results. And meditation. Any of Joe Dispenza's meditations are good, in case you're wondering. You can purchase them on his website, I know. There's some for free on YouTube as well. And then I have some that are Joe Dispenza inspired. That's when I had them made. I said, hey, make them like Joe Dispenza's, because I love him and his stuff. So they're inspired by him. So you can check them out as well, and just practice. Just like notice what thoughts come up for you, and then look, like a few days go by and be like, how do I feel? Do I feel any different? Just check yourself out. Get to know yourself. Get to know how you're feeling on a daily basis. And the more you know yourself, the better off you're going to be. You just got to master yourself. That's your only job, because everything else kind of takes care of itself. It's really funny how that happens. When you kind of know yourself. Yeah, know thyself. That's all we have to do. And just be still, because we've got to slow down. So maybe put that phone down. Or if you listen to a certain podcast that creates kind of the same feelings that you're having every day, maybe switch up the podcast, or maybe listen to a book, or just turn it off completely and pretend like we're in it's 1995. And then we just don't have access to these things for a little bit, even for an hour, even for 30 minutes. Be like, I don't own a cell phone. Ooh, that'd be kind of nice. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this all came from today. This was just a ramble. This was a for real ramble. So thank you for listening. As always, thank you for being here with me through this whole thing. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for our last day of the year. And if this helped you in any sort of way, feel free to share it with somebody who might benefit from the information. And please like and subscribe if you'd like to join me. And this is so much fun. I appreciate you guys so much. You're so loved. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And don't forget that. We got to remember to remember these things. Just appreciate yourself, water yourself like you're watering a plant, and watch what'll happen. It's super cool. You'll see some changes, sometimes instantaneously. So have fun with this. You're amazing. You're awesome. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.